learns that from a young age, from masturbating, I'm not gonna open with that. Hi, long time no see again. Sorry about that. So remember how last time I was just like, yo, sorry I haven't been making videos because of school, but school is over, so I'm gonna be making videos now, and then I didn't do that? Well, sometimes you get not one, but two stomach-related illnesses within 2 weeks of each other, and it just completely kicks your ass, and everything's terrible. So terrible. So after all of the trauma that my body has experienced, I just really wanted to do a fun video today, and I was like, hey, I like comics and I like women, so I should do a video about taxidermy. Just kidding, I'm doing a video about women in comics. So the first book I want to talk about is Persepolis, The Story of a Childhood. This is a memoir that takes place in Tehran, and it's basically her experience as a child going through the Islamic Revolution. And what's really interesting about this is often when you hear stories of war and revolutions, it's told through the eyes of adults, but you get to see this through a child's perspective as she grows up, and it's just really beautifully told. This might be one of the best graphic novels I've ever read. It's definitely in my top 5. I know it's taught in college courses a lot because it's just that fucking good, but it's so good. Okay, the next comic I want to talk about is Sex Criminals, which is a series. As the title might suggest, sex is pretty important to the storyline, and it's actually super sex positive, and I like it a lot. The premise of the series is that the protagonist, Susie, every time that she orgasms, she's able to stop time, and she meets another gentleman who also has this power, and they get into shenanigans, and it's really funny and good. The next comic I want to talk about is actually a book, and it's called Nimona, which you may have heard of because it's fucking fantastic. It's written by Noelle Stevenson, who is just a complete joy to follow on Twitter as a side note, and she's just a really cute person. It's pretty lighthearted and fun at first, but it actually surprisingly takes a pretty dark turn at the end, and by the end of it, you're just left completely gripped and sad and feeling all of these emotions. Nimona is a shapeshifter, and she starts working for a gay supervillain, and they just have a really cute relationship and friendship. The story just has a lot of heart, and it has some fun, like, medieval mythology in it. So if you're into that, you should definitely check it out. The next comic I'm going to talk about is probably every comic book nerd's favorite series right now, which is Saga, and it's everyone's favorite series because it's fucking incredible. It's kind of like a combination between Star Wars and Romeo and Juliet, I guess. I don't know if that's an apt way to describe it. This is basically the story of two lovers who are in an interracial relationship, which is super taboo at the time, and they're in the midst of this intergalactic war. This is also really sex positive. It deals with like racial issues, and it has some really good representation in it as well. This came out a while ago, so I feel like everyone who likes graphic novels has probably already read it, but it is Seconds by Bryan Lee O'Malley. You're probably most familiar with him as the writer of the Scott Pilgrim series, which is also really good. Reading this book was just such a pleasure and such a beautiful experience. It's printed on these really nice thick pages, and the art is gorgeous, and I loved all of the characters. I just want to go read this again. One of my favorite Marvel series right now, and I wish I had the first one, but apparently this is the only physical copy that I own, is Silk. As you can see, she is right next to Spider-Man, who you may know. You probably know Spider-Man. So the story behind Silk is that she's basically the other Spider-Man. She was bit by the same radioactive spider that bit Peter Parker. The difference is that she was trapped in a bunker for 10 years, and when she emerges, she finds that her entire family is missing and she has no trace of them. I really love Cindy Moon's character, first of all, because it's just some awesome Asian woman representation, and if you know me, I do enjoy being represented in the work that I consume, oddly enough. Also, she's just badass, and the way she's drawn is super beautiful, and I really, really like it. The last one is probably no surprise, because it's probably something you would expect me to talk about, and also it's great, so it's on everyone's list. But Ms. Marvel, what a surprise. Ms. Marvel got a lot of publicity when it first came out in early 2014 because Kamala Khan, who's the series protagonist, is Marvel's first Pakistani American and Muslim superhero, which is just super awesome in itself. but also it's just really well written, and it's fun. It's fun to read this, which I think it should be the primary purpose of comics. Ms. Marvel does a really good job of showing the complexity of Kamala struggling to find the balance between being an American teenager and also balancing her cultural background. It shows the different generations with her parents and her grandparents and the expectations that they place on her, and also just her struggle to figure out who she is and the kind of person she wants to be. Also, Kamala Khan is a massive comic book nerd, and I just feel like this is a book for comic book nerds. Anyway, that is my list. If you've read any of these, let me know and we can talk about it. Also, if you have any other awesome comics that you want to share with me, they don't necessarily need to be lady-driven, but you know, I do like some diverse representation, then please let me know because I'm always looking for new comics to read. Alright, Endscreen time. I'm just gonna say it. I am a terrible Patreon patron mother. Just gonna call myself a patron mother. Every time I go to sit down and film a video, I completely forget that I'm supposed to be shouting out my patrons on this channel, and I haven't been doing that at all, so I'm just gonna do that just real quick. Okay, so big thank you, and I apologize for being such a shithead, to Allison Hashemi, David Hoovian, Sharon, Susie, Tim Bartholomew, Erica Ching, Judith, Rachel Connor, Catherine Hensley, Noah Sim, Brene Goddett, Nathan Showalter, and Dramanique Janine. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a like and subscribe to this channel for more videos like this one. Also, this is completely voluntary, but if you would like to help support this channel and Feminist Fridays, then please consider donating to my Patreon page, which will be linked below.